Hey guys, Save Live VGC here, and welcome back to another episode of Crazy Climbing. Today we're going to jump straight into things with a Xerneas Suicune team that I've been using recently. I did use it the other day on Twitch, so if you want some more games or see some more games with it, please feel free to check that out. With that aside though, let's jump straight into things here. So basically the concept of the team is kind of standard, I would say. I'm probably not even the first person to put these 6 together, but they're super solid and I really did want to feature it right now. We're going to get local tourists here at 188, so... Drifblim Zacian. So the Drifblim makes this a little bit annoying. My normal Zacian matchup is generally I don't bring Xerneas and I go something like Suicune, Amoonguss, Landorus, Incineroar. However, here I might be able to make the case saying that they really have nothing for Xerneas if Xerneas gets going. Outside of that Zacian, right? So I could technically bring Xern. Do I really want to bring Xern? I'm not so sure, right? Like, Suicune to me here is alright, but they're probably leading Regieleki, right? So, they could go Lele Blim. I don't think they're going to go Lele Blim. But like something like Suicune, Lando, and then Incineroar in the back seems really solid here. How do I want to finish this though? Because like, it's either Xerneas or Amoonguss, right? Lele really makes me not want to bring Amoonguss. And because of that, I could actually go Rillaboom instead. Right? I could just go Rillaboom. It gives me a second fake. It gives me terrain advantage. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Normally, I would probably say do not bring Rillaboom to this matchup. But I think between the Tapu Lele and the Regieleki, and probably what I can only assume is a Water Urshifu, it actually makes a lot of sense here, right? I could get away with Amoonguss as well. I think Amoonguss is perfectly fine. But the Lele does scare me a tiny little bit. So I think we should be alright here. I've seen this name before, the local tourist name. I feel like this is a somebody. I really do feel like this is a somebody, but either way, it's going to be a good match. Urshifu Zacian as a lead from my opponent here. Is that the water? It is indeed water, so this is what they wanted, right? They wanted some sort of way to shut down Landorus, and this is exactly what they got. So I'd imagine they double Landorus here, and this is scary, right? I should have pressured the Urshifu a little more. I'm going to just get a free Tailwind up though, and I'm going to pivot in. I'm going to get my Rillaboom in. I don't have much going for me right now. Probably going to need to get some sort of burn. The only good thing is that I have realistically endless pressure into Zacian, right? I have Scald that can potentially burn. Once I get Tailwind up, my Rillaboom's actually faster as well. Same with my Landorus. So the pressure into Zacian is there. It's actually good. I'm going to go ahead and say Urshifu is more concerning than the Zacian right now. Surging Strike's going into Rillaboom. This is probably a double up, and I'm probably going to lose Rillaboom. Right? Because you would double up considering the fact that Lando wants to switch, right? So if Lando wants to switch, you just take the kill. Actually, you're going to sub. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to take that, like, you know, very happily. I'm not going to complain at all right there. I know a substitute, a Scald sometimes does not break the sub onto Zacian, which is a little frustrating. We do see that Urshifu was faster than the Zacian there, so it is going to be Choice Scarf Urshifu. What I'm actually going to do is I am just going to Scald into the sub, and I think I want to re-pivot, because Urshifu should not be staying in to take Grassy Glide here. There's no reason for you to do that. So I'm going to U-turn off of that Urshifu slot. If they stay in Surging Strikes, that's very questionable at best, but this should be a free pivot for me. Like, they could stay in just expecting me to switch out, right? But they also don't know if I'm Woodhammer or not. Urshifu should not be staying on the field here. Yeah, Urshifu is indeed going to switch out. Are we going to catch that Lele? We are going to catch that Lele coming in. So that's good damage for this U-turn as well. Still a little concerning as to what this Zacian wants to go for here, because a Behemoth Blade is going to hit super hard. How much is U-turn doing though? Scald, does it break? That's the question. I know it's a roll more often than not. So let's see. We are not going to get it, so that's very unfortunate because Suicune kind of lackluster right there. But I'm going to bring in Landorus anyways, I think. This is tough though, right? Because what are they going to do? If they're going to Behemoth Blade to Rillaboom, Incineroar is the better play. So I will go Incin. Not ideal, but it's still alright here, I think. Lele is not in a good spot right now. What are we going to see? Behemoth? Should just be the blade. Like I said, I didn't want to take damage onto Landorus. Landorus in the back for me right now is the capability of just being able to end game the Zacian, right? That's really what I want, is something to end game Zacian. Because I can chip everything else. Right? What I can do here is actually just go for a big old... I'm going to Scald to break the Zacian, but I'm not going to double into it. Like I probably should. Right, this Lele is going to be Scarf, probably wants to pivot out. I'm actually going to Parting Shot into the Tapu Lele here, predicting maybe a Zacian Protect and a pivot into Urshifu. But there's the Zacian Protect, so not 100% correct, but for the most part, that's a correct turn here. Suicune's going to Scald, of course, not going to go off. Am I faster? Well, I'm going to be, right, because the Urshifu is Scarf. So, we're going to hinder this Lele. The question is, where do they want to go with this attack? And I feel like they'd want to break into Suicune here. But once again, can I risk Landorus? And I think that answer is no, I can't. So I'm going to go into Rillaboom. I just don't see the reasoning that I would ever risk Landorus here. But then again, can I risk Rillaboom and potentially lose Urshifu and potentially lose to the endgame Urshifu? Also not ideal. So still a lot on the table here. Moonblast, this is going to go into this Rillaboom, which is going to hurt. Oh my goodness, that is a critical hit. Come on, really? It was -1 as well. Like, why you gotta crit me like that? You know, some people just get super lucky there. I'm tempted to knock off this Urshifu, because I'm pretty sure Lele is gonna switch out here. Does it though? I want to get rid of Lele more so than anything else here. So I'm almost tempted to double it, but that involves leaving Zacian on the field. But I think killing Lele is just more important. Because if their only pressure is what Zacian's providing, I should be able to pivot around. The problem is they should just double Rillaboom here and then I lose Boomer. And I can't do anything about that. Sub Zacian is a little more annoying than it should be, but they're actually going to switch out Lele. Yo, give me the Urshifu, please. That. I was really, really hoping they'd give me the Urshifu there. So we're going to get the Grassy Glide. Not going to do a whole lot of damage here. Does a respectable amount, but not nearly enough. We're going to get the Scald off, not going into the sub. Of course, going straight into the Drifloon. Burn would be nice. I'll save it for the Urshifu, though. Yeah. And they're just going to Blade here. And now we lose our Rillaboom, which is very shaky. This is not what I want to see here, and the question here, the problem here I should say, is that once again I did not break the sub on this Zacian. Probably should have been a little bit more aggressive here with the Lando. It was just super tough with the Urshifu on the field, and now losing Rillaboom, beating that Urshifu is going to be a pain. So I'm going to bring into Lando, and I think I'm actually going to have to make a hard call here. And I don't know if it's really going to pay off or not. I believe Tailwind is gone. Tailwind is gone, so I could reset Tailwind here. And that's exactly... I'm going to reset Tailwind. I'm just going to actually Sludge Bomb into the Drifloon here. I'll live what Zacian goes for here. Next turn I can always Protect off. And going for Sludge Bomb into Drifloon at least kills it. But I definitely do not like this. Zacian, please click Protect. You're going to Blade. That's fine. Like I said, Lando is going to survive this and should be able to drop this Drifloon. But once again, I'm kind of playing... This is poor play on my end, right? Like, I need to target this Zacian down. I'm literally letting it sit there behind a sub and taking me out. So, Sludge Bomb going to go down into Drifloon. That did next to nothing. Why did that do nothing? I know it's resisted, but, like, still. Still, I think Rock Slide... Why did I not Rock Slide? What am I doing? That's a misplay, for sure. I got a Rock Slide there every day of the week. 1000%. I have Rock Slide, and I just didn't click it. I'll Icy Wind, and I will Protect here. I don't have much of a better option. At this point, I'm thinking the game's over. This is one where it's just one of those things where, you know, I did not prioritize what I needed to kill. Behemoth Blade, gonna go into the Protect. I mean, I can still technically win this with Suicune, if Suicune does Suicune things. We're gonna get the Icy Wind off into the Drifloon here, but if this thing has, like, Hypnosis and is willing to spam it, it's gonna be a little annoying. But we do fade the Substitute there, which is massive. Drifloon, of course, going to Icy Wind themselves, which is a little annoying. I did not expect that. Okay. fading to substitute is interesting and gives me an actual chance here, right? Because what I can do now is somewhat pivot around here to a spot where I could technically just Icy Wind again. And I get the call, right? Like now I get the call if, are you going to substitute or are you going to try a Behemoth Blade? I would assume you know I'm not risking Landorus, right? I'm really tempted to get greedy. Like I think I have no choice but to get greedy, you know? I don't think I can afford to not get greedy here. So I'm going to do exactly that and get greedy. Okay. That should pay off for me here. What's coming in? Whatever it is does not appreciate this at all. I believe I'm still faster with Suicune here. Suicune should still be able to pick this off with an Icy Wind. No, the Unburden. That's well played. I got greedy and it didn't pay off for me. Lando might still be faster, and I am still faster. So, at the very least, it was at least a last-ditch effort here. They're actually going to Wisp. And they're going to miss the Suicune with that Wisp. And Suicune's going to get an Icy Wind up right now. So, after all of that, things are still going on right now. Sure. Kinda questionable at best here. I mean, they should have just killed Lando, right? I guess they really read into me switching out. But, like, I don't know. I feel like you kind of have to take that kill, right? I think I Icy Wind again. Do I need to protect? I don't think I do. I don't know if I'm faster than the Lele, though. And because of that, I am going to protect the Lando. I'm going to play it a little bit safer. I just got greedy the turn prior. No need to get greedy again. Drifloon on their end is going to click Icy Wind. Like I said, not trying to risk that right there. That's fine. Suicune's going to take. I don't care about Suicune being slow. I don't really need Suicune to be fast right now. The problem is going to be this Urshifu. And finding a way to actually break through the Urshifu. Lele's going to click Psychic into my Suicune, which is exactly what they need to be doing right there. That does way too much damage. It's fine though, because I'm slowing it down. Icy Wind is coming out. Icy Wind is not going to kill the Lele, but it will kill the Drifloon. Now, they should be bringing in Urshifu, I would assume. There's no real reason for them to be bringing in... to bring in their Zacian here at all. And the problem with that is I can't do much. Yeah, they're going to bring in Urshifu. They should just hit... They should hit the Landorus slot every day of the week here. How many turns of Tailwind are there? There is 3 turns left of Psychic Terrain, no turns left of Tailwind. So, I reset Tailwind, and I sack Incineroar. And we pray for the best. This is a winnable Pokemon game. It's a scary, scary endgame, because we know it's Scarf, right? They should be clicking Surging Strikes into me right now. Because you have to kill the Lando. You have no reason to. You have no reason not to. You know my last month's instant. You should take that slot. They're going to Surging Strikes. You're going to lock into that move, which is perfectly fine. Surging Strike should take out my Incineroar. And it will go into Incineroar. Now, if Suicune can survive this and get a Tailwind up, there's actually a chance. Because then Scald will kill Lele. And Earth Power, I would need Earth Power to kill the Urshifu. And if that's the case, then we can win the game. I think if that's the case, we do just win. But I need to survive this. Suicune is going to hang in there, going to get a Tailwind up right now, and I need Earth Power to be able to kill Urshifu. If Earth Power kills Urshifu, I legitimately think we win. Urshifu cannot protect, it's locked into Surging Strikes because we know it's Choice Scarf right now. I'm going to click Scald into the Tapu Lele, I have to get that knockout. I believe I'm -3, or we're both -2 actually, okay, that's fine. And then with Tailwind, Suicune will be faster. And I Earth Power. This is my only chance of winning this game. If Earth Power kills Urshifu here. It generally doesn't, but let's see. It is going to pick off the Urshifu. Suicune going to be faster than this Tapu Lele? Suicune is going to be faster than this Tapu Lele. We're going to get the Scald. Scald is going to come out and kill the Lele. So, despite everything, we managed to somehow stay here with a 16 HP Landorus, get our Tailwind back up, and be able to just win this game. I really failed to see how my opponent let me do that. They messed up the one turn they went for the Will-O-Wisp into Suicune, and that cost them the game. 100%. Scald does because it doesn't matter, and I will Earth Power here. Not killing my Landorus there was greedy on their end, right? All they had to do was double that slot. Even if I protect, I wasn't doing much. This game is not over yet. It's actually still interesting because they could get a double protect to stall out my Tailwind. Actually, is there 2 more turns of Tailwind or just 1? Because if there's only 1 more turn, we're fine. But this was one crazy battle to start the episode off with, I'm going to be honest. We're going to Scald, and who do we got? 1 more turn of Tailwind. If they get the double, I actually think it becomes a super big mind game. We're going to Earth Power Zacian though. Please don't get the double. They didn't actually even go for the double. We're going to get the Earth Power here into Zacian. Zacian is going to drop, so that's going to be the game. But wow. that was something. Okay, so we're going to take down Local Tourist there, and honestly might be close to top 100 now with our rating, which is really solid. But we're going to get one more battle for you guys, but I want to showcase Xerneas. It's just tough to do that versus Zacian, right? So that's kind of how you handle that matchup. I think I misplayed. I definitely did not pressure down that Zacian as much as I should have. We're at 157, which isn't bad, right? But if I focus on that Zacian a little more and, you know, less concerned about the Urshifu, I don't know. I don't know. I started switching and just took too much damage. I think I needed to get a little bit more aggressive than what I was. But either way, still a solid game. We got our W, but I don't think I really deserved the W. We're going to get, I have no clue what that's supposed to be, but rank 20, which is wild. And we're going to get to showcase Xerneas today, because we got Xern versus Xern. So one of us is going to get our Xern going here. This, however, is scary for me. I'm going to 100% want to go Suicune here. Suicune literally kind of does so much. Like, it beats 5 out of 6. Okay, let me rephrase that. It doesn't beat Xerneas, but it's enough to hinder the Xerneas to a point where maybe my Xerneas can get going. This is super annoying though. Like, I want to lead like Lando Suicune with Xerneas Instant. Because like between the double fire types, probably safety goggles on Stack Attacka, the Indeedee, Amoonguss doesn't really do too much for me here. So I think this is the way I need to go. And it's kind of just going to be, I need to chip Stack Attacka or stay out of Trick Room and get my Xerneas set up. If not both. I might need to chip, get Xerneas set up, and then have chip it into range of a +2 Moonblast. Which isn't hard to do. But between like Lando and Suicune, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Indeedee Stack Attack. I'm going to go ahead and say this is basically what you were expecting here, or what I was expecting here. Nothing too crazy right now. I am just going to Earth Power. You have to follow me with your Indeedee here, so I'll let you go ahead and do that. I'm going to Earth Power into the Indeedee straight up, because if you just give me the Scald into Stack Attacka and protect your Indeedee, I don't realistically care about you getting Trick Room up. You should be either protecting Stack and attacking, or follow me and Trick Rooming. And I think follow me Trick Room is their play. So this just covered. I didn't want to double into a potential protect on either of them. So this covers that. Earth Power is going to go into Indeedee here. Going to do over 50, I would imagine. Does so much damage. Love it. Suicune is going to get the Scald. Hopefully not going to kill Indeedee. Does leave the Indeedee just beautifully. And there's the Stack Attacker going for the Trick Room. So here's just a Protect Snarl for me here. And then the following turn, I go for the Incin switch in. And then that gives me the Landorus late game here. And the problem here, though, is this Stack Attacka is going to have a field day in Trick Room right now. A literal field day. But it should just be going for Rock Slide. Of course, Suicune cannot flinch. It's actually going to Gyro Ball straight into my Landorus, which is beautiful here. We're going to see the Expanding Force. So Suicune doesn't appreciate that, but it takes it a lot better than anything else on my team would have. So yeah, Chucky does a lot less than I expected. But we're going to get the Snarl out here. Going to pick off this Indeedee, get a little bit of chip damage onto Stack Attacka. And now I pivot Incineroar in and probably Scald the Stack Attacka. Although I guess Torkoal wants to come in, right? So maybe I do just Snarl again. Right? Hinder the Torkoal. Like if they get the Sun up, it's definitely... Yeah, there's the Torkoal. Okay, so going to get Landorus out. Going to pivot into Incineroar here and probably just go for another Snarl. Hindering the Torkoal, I believe, is more important than hindering the Stack Attacka with a Scald. It's not going to do too much. And honestly, once I get out of Trick Room here, I think we take the W. Alright, we get that switch. It should just be an Eruption Gyro Ball. Maybe a Rock Slide if they're trying to get greedy. I guess you could go ahead and get a Rock Slide off if you expect an Incineroar switch in. But if you Gyro Ball into me, then I think we're in a phenomenal spot. You actually are going to Rock Slide, so correct play from my opponent right there. But -1 Stack Attacka, not going to do too much damage. And the most important part is, that's Life Orb. That is crazy. We're going to get our Citrus Berry, and we're going to be able to start getting Snarls up. Eruption from the Torkoal, which is fine. Going to do a good chunk of damage here. Definitely not going to do minimal damage, but this is fine, I think. We're going to get the Snarl up. The Snarl is going to do some decent damage to the Torkoal, hindering the Eruption and dropping the special attack as well. Stack Attacka, I'm not too concerned about being on the field right now. I am a little concerned, however, that I can't click Fake Out here, right? Because of the Psychic Terrain. And with 2 turns left of Trick Room, this is kind of a little bit annoying. It's not the end of the world though, right? Like, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Scald into this. I just Snarl again, I think. I'm going to Snarl again, and I'm going to try and stay in and go for a Parting Shot. I don't think you're going to give it to me, but on the off chance that you try and switch something out and you give me the Parting Shot, I will 100% take that. No reason for me, like Xerneas Landorus wins me this game if it comes onto the field in front of Stack Attack Torkoal. Every time. So Stack Attack is going to go for the Rock Slide, going to successfully connect onto the Incineroar here, which is the one they needed to hit to kill, which is a little frustrating, but it is okay. Suicune probably survives this, I would think. Stack Attack is going to get the Beast Boost, should be attack, defense, okay, that's fine. Normally with the Life Orb ones, they like to go attack, but Torkoal's going to go Eruption, and I believe Suicune hangs on now. Nope, they're going to crit me and I'm going to die. Not a crit, wow. That's still alright. It would have been nice to keep Suicune now instead of having to double protect here. But I don't see a reason not to double protect. Right? Like, there's really no reason for me not to click protect here. The only concern with that is if they hard switch in Xerneas somewhere. But I think I'm forced to protect right now. They probably want to hard switch Xerneas in for Stack Attacka, in which case that's super scary. But do I care at that point? Because then I still either way, I'm getting my boosted Xern. Are they going to hard switch? I would say they do. They should call my double protect here and try to get Xerneas in. If they don't do that, this game is over. Yep, there's the hard switch. There's the hard switch into Xerneas, which I should have called. Literally, I was sitting here saying they're going to go for it. They're going to hard switch Xerneas in, and I could have just Geomantied Earth Powered and literally would have won the game right there. Instead, now we're in a very questionable spot. They do go Eruption, right? Like, I would have lived the Eruption, though, because this Torkoal was -1. So, I don't think hitting the Torkoal is worth it right now. I think it's more important to Geomancy and Sludge Bomb the Xerneas. This is a super scary endgame, though. If I'm faster than the Xern with my Landorus, then I'm fine. If I'm not, however, things get very, very interesting. I should have just Earth Powered. I don't know why I didn't just Earth Power. You guys literally are watching this and you're like, he's even said he's going to hard switch Xern. And I did nothing about it. You know? I did nothing about it. But Landorus is actually going to be faster here. So, Sludge Bomb going into Xern. I'm actually going to kill. I'm going to get the crit to save the game right there. And that's going to seal the deal. But, so, I'm going to go over my end game here, assuming I don't get the crit. So I'm faster. Sludge Bomb brings it down to about 10% remaining, maybe 15%. I get my Geo up, they get their Geo up. Depending on the faster Xern, that would have come in handy as well. But given the fact that my Landorus is only 1 point faster than my Xerneas is, I'm assuming we're either speed tying with our Xerns or I'm faster. Right? So Torkoal's going to go for the Eruption there, which is fine. Like I said, Lander will live because the Torkoal is -1. The following turn, I would assume my Xerneas is faster. I would be able to Dazzle and Gleam. Right, like I could protect my Landorus. If Xerneas is still on the field, right? I protect my Landorus and just Gleam, pick off their Xerneas, chip down to Torkoal. Then I get to eventually a spot where Moonblast kills Stack Attacka here. Either way, at this point, the game's over. I'm gonna Moonblast Torkoal, and I'm just gonna Earth Power into the Stack Attacka. If Stack Attacka wants to click Protect, it doesn't matter. They're not gonna click Protect, so we're gonna get the Moonblast here from the Xerneas into this Torkoal for massive damage. It's actually just gonna pick up. But, right, the concept is if Xerneas survives on a little bit there, it doesn't matter because I can just protect and Dazzling Gleam it the following turn, and Landorus still pins the rest of their team. The only potential pin that they have going is getting Xerneas and Stakataka on the field at the same time, then killing my Landorus with their Xerneas, right? Forcing their Xerneas to potentially pressure my Landorus. So forcing my Lando into protecting, Stakataka going for a Trick Room. But I think even if that were to have been the case, I could have just gone for the protect, and I think that Stakataka was in range of a Moonblast. So either way, I think we take the W there. Very scary endgame, and I definitely could have called them out on that hard switch into Xerneas. Would have definitely won the game very, very easily. But with that, guys, we are going to wrap things up for today's episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe down below so you don't miss out. But we do actually crack top 100 here. And with that, guys, we're going to get out of here, and I will catch you guys in a future episode.